Alrighty, time for another daily. We have plenty of expansions today. What's happening here? Oh. Way of the Frog and Fairy are the landscapes. So for draw, we've got Magnate, Shepherd, Apprentice, Maroon, Scrying Pool. Plenty of draw. No villages. So you're playing one terminal per turn. Trashing, Remodel, Maroon, Scrap, Apprentice. Plus buy. Scrap gives plus buy. Ironworks and Remodel can gain things. Idle gains things on occasion. There's a few boons that give you things. You could pull Earth's Gift or Forest Gift or Mountain's Gift, etc. The more I look at this kingdom, everything looks kind of awkward. So there's Shepherd. You can start with Shepherd. Shepherd's really good if there's a way to reliably line up all the estates in your hand. So Shepherd pairs nicely with the Duration Draw, for example, or Sifting. A card like Forum is good. Something that lets you put the Shepherd and estates in the same hand. And there's nothing here that really makes Shepherd look particularly viable. There's also a bunch of Trashers, but basically every one of the Trashers is better at dealing with estates than it is with coppers. Apprentice, Scrap, and Remodel would all rather kill the estates. Shepherd doesn't really want you to trash the estates, but does really want you to get the coppers out of your deck. Maroon can trash the coppers, but terminally, and Shepherd just seems awkward. Scrying Pool plays nicely when you have a bunch of other cantrips to draw, for example. But what other action cards are you putting into a deck where Scrying Pool is your main draw? You could put a few Shepherds, but you don't usually need a bunch of Shepherds. You usually want 2 or 3 Shepherds. That deck wouldn't really want a bunch of terminal actions, like the entire right side of the kingdom. You could put a bunch of scraps in that deck, but you don't want to scrap things en masse. Maybe Scrying Pools and a bunch of Ironworks, but what are the Ironworks gaining? With Scrying Pool, you could just put enough Scrying Pools in the deck, and then the Scrying Pools can draw each other, and you can get drawn out of that. But it doesn't look like there's a great target for a Scrying Pool, and then once again you have the problem of copper thinning is a little bit awkward. Magnate and Maroon are draw, but they're terminal draw, and there's no villages, so any other actions you draw dead. Apprentice, maybe? You just play a bunch of Ironworks and gain a bunch of other Ironworks and other 4s and trash them with Apprentice for something. Maybe that's a deck. I'm looking at Idle and thinking Idle's going to be decent here. And the kingdom is otherwise fairly weak, and trashing looks fairly awkward. At least trashing 0-cost card looks fairly awkward. And so giving out curses, I think, looks like it matters. So probably I want to play with Idols. What does that suggest? Well, that makes Scrying Pool look a little bit worse. If I plan on adding a bunch of additional treasures. Scrying Pool big money is obviously not much of a thing. Maybe Idols with Apprentices and Shepherds and Ironworks, that's the deck. I guess I see 2 different lines. One would be maybe forget the Shepherd stuff. Open with Maroon and Scrap, maybe. Scrap kills the estates, Maroon kills the coppers. Add some Idols and just play more or less Idle big money. I have a tendency to avoid trashing estates whenever Shepherd is around. I think usually it's worth trying to make Shepherd work, because For one, the victory point payoff is not negligible. Like if you're keeping the estates around, it's an extra 6 points at a minimum, maybe more if you're buying estates later in the game. But maybe if Shepherd is just bad here, you kill the estates, keep it simple. Maroon trashing pasture would be kind of nice. You start with 1 pasture in lieu of 1 of your coppers whenever Shepherd's in the kingdom. And pasture has 3 types, so you draw like 1,000,000 cards once off of your maroon. So I think Maroon Idle Scrap looks like a deck. And then the other deck I think would be keep the Shepherd in your deck, keep the estates. Then you're probably playing with a Maroon to kill the coppers. And then maybe you're adding some number of apprentices and ironworks to help line up the Shepherds. That way you can kick off the deck by, like, you just find an apprentice in your starting hand, you trash something expensive. Now you probably have a big enough hand to line up your Shepherds and draw from there. I think either strategy wants to play with idols. Not sure what I open with if I'm going for this latter strategy. Shepherd Silver? I could always do Ironworks, Fairy Apprentice. I don't know if I want the Apprentice super early in that line, because I don't really want to kill the estates. It's not very good at killing the coppers. Unfortunately, you can't Fairy the Idol, otherwise Ironworks, Fairy Idol, and just like Ironworks for Idols would look kind of nice. I don't know, it would probably just be Shepherd Silver. The Maroon Scrap line is just seeming a little bit clearer to me. I don't normally like to trash the estates when Shepherd's around, but we're going to try it. See if this gets anywhere. Well, that was a bit of a... Found the Maroon with all the estates and the Scrap with all the coppers. Alright, this is already looking a tad awkward. Take a second scrap. And I also buy a silver here. This is working out incredibly poorly so far. I have to note that. So the first shuffle went horribly. These cards lined up with the opposite of the cards they're supposed to. Now I bottom decked all 3 of them. The bottom card is my second scrap. And I'm going to draw it dead off this maroon. I think there's not much help in that. Just say action, silver. At least I got to 5. And they collided again with no estates. What is going on here? So I could frog one of them for next turn and then just like trash a copper. I think I'd rather get to 5 for the idol. I don't know, this is like Indiana Jones thing. I've picked up a pagan idol and it's cursed my deck. Well, this hand's probably fine. I'll kill the estate with the scrap. The bot is also trashing its estates. But it's playing with Scrying Pool and Apprentice. Interesting. A little bit of everything over there. All I want is for the maroon to trash the coppers and the scrap to trash the estates. I didn't think that was such a big ask, but apparently it was. Probably should leave that on top. Yeah. I'm not sure if it's worth playing this horse. I don't benefit very much from drawing the silver. conceivably I could draw into an idol. But I'm likely top decking the maroon and the scrap together again with no coppers. So I think maybe I gotta save the horse. Well, I drew the silver anyway. I probably want an apprentice at some point in this deck, even if I don't plan on drawing with it reliably. Just, trash a maroon or a scrap or even an idol at this point. Helps me line up a bunch of idols and give it a curse. I could see taking a maroon, or an apprentice rather, over an additional idol. If I hit 6 and 2 buys, I could always fairy apprentice, buy apprentice, and then it's also going to be cheaper in the future. Okay. Card action horse, I think. Maybe that should have been buys. I underestimated how much I was going to make here. I appear to be up on cursing. I think it's 3-1 my favor. The score says -2 to -1, but I am assuming that means the bot has one estate left. No? No? Why is it? Oh, I mean, the bot already trashed a curse. That's what happened. I noticed the bot has held onto its pasture, which either means the bot's going to be able to score better than me in the endgame if it keeps that, because the estates will be worth twice as much, effectively, or the bot has a big draw coming up soon whenever it lines up that maroon in the pasture and gets to draw 6. Sure, I'll take, I don't know what here. It's a good question. What do I want? Maybe a maroon? Once curses are out, trashing idols will be a ton of draw, or I would just apprentice it. I'm not totally sure about that. Plus buy looks nice. 2 more idols. Unsure what I trash here. I think I'm leaning towards apprentice an idol and then maroon the curse. If I apprentice the maroon and draw into the second maroon, I'd be happiest. But I am only 1/3 likely to do that. I'd rather guarantee I trash this curse. Let's go card action buys, probably. Maybe I didn't need the buys. This time I took the buys and I got free buys off of Forest's Gift. Curses are very low. Idols are out. It's not going to be trivial to pile things out, but maybe the bot tries to rush down estates. One option is just buy a province. Could also do like apprentice and a duchy. Two apprentices. Let's say apprentice and a duchy. And I'm probably going to want to consider adding a shepherd back to the deck now that I'm starting to green at some point soon. Certainly not with one victory card in the whole deck. I don't understand why the bot discarded a copper from the top of my deck with Scrying Pool. Discard the Apprentice, which actually, given my current hand, is kind of friendly because I was going to draw that dead. That at least makes some more sense to me. The Will-O-Wisps are actually quite nice in the bot's deck. Has the bot gotten Will-O-Wisp? Just because it's a cantrip, Scrying Pool can draw. Well, Flame's Gift, you would be nice at a different point in time. Sky's Gift, just a tad too short to use you. Okay, I've got a Will-O-Wisp. It is a 2-type card, so I could always maroon it for draw. Given this hand, I think I'd rather just play it and maroon the curse. Is that a scrap and an Apprentice? I'm pretty sure this is about to be a sad draw. Yeah. Oh, well, that kind of salvages it. To discard or not? I think, no, I think I'd rather just buy a province. And I'm once again faced with the choice of what to trash with Apprentice. I'm pretty sure none of these bottom 3 cards is another action card. I saw my Maroon, Scrap, and Apprentice all last turn, so they're all in the discard. So if I were to... So I could just Apprentice, Curse, play Maroon, trash Copper. It gets the most junk out of my deck and draws me a little bit. It's not going to hit anything of importance, though. I'm going to draw a Province and one other card. Other option would be, you always just Apprentice the Maroon, but I'm probably not going to draw into a second trasher for the Curse. Third option is Apprentice the Idol, and then Maroon the Curse. I'm leaning towards that. Cannibalizes my deck a little bit more, but probably gets me straight up to Province, and we're already in the greening phase. Well, I guess actually, maybe an even better option is, why not just Apprentice the Curse, Maroon the Idol? Which, I faced this dilemma before, maybe I did it in the reverse order. I'm thinking about it now, and Apprentice Idol draws 5, but Maroon on Idol draws 6. I guess the theoretical reason to do Apprentice Idol first is if I draw into another action card, like Scrap or something, which isn't that likely, given that my top 3 cards are all non-actions, so I think I'm just going to do this. Okay, well, I drew in 2 actions, but it works out. I can make use of those. And a duchy. Not sure what to do with this hand. Bot's thinking hard about whether it wants me to have that idol. It says no. What are the curses looking like? All the curses have been trashed. I'm not sure where I stand right now. I've got a points lead. I think the bot's got a little bit more to its deck because it's got the Scrying Pools in there. So I could just stop here, play 2 idols, probably buy a Shepherd in that case. Or I could scrap the Duchy and draw whatever this card is. I probably should know what it is, but I don't. I think I just want the Shepherd. Ooh, do I trash the Scrap? That might be... the best argument for keeping Scrap around is I can Apprentice it. Apprentice trashing Scrap is effectively like 1 laboratory worth of draw. Because it takes up 2 cards in hand but draws 3. Am I more likely than not to line up the Scrap with the Apprentice? Marooning the Scrap isn't all that valuable. If I draw it without the Apprentice... I guess if I let him scrap a maroon, I could just scrap the maroon, and that's a fine play too. I think I'm going to keep it. I'm not 100% sure on that. This is not bad. I'll just trash an apprentice. Oh man, it is turn 17. The bot thinks hard about these scrying pool decisions. That still might be a consequence of me being on a slower computer for the time being. Ooh, it's got a remodel. That's scary. Bot loves its remodels. You're really slow playing your treasures. Yikes. Double province. That was a strong turn. Let's see if I can match that. This is at least a province in hand. Although, winner of the bot can at least theoretically do double province, which is scary. So I think I'm just scrapping the maroon. What am I taking? Probably coin, because it gives me guaranteed province. So I can do card action buy, which would basically be me praying to draw into the shepherd, and then I can discard 3 cards and maybe get around to double province or province duchy. I could just take something like card silver horse, which is me adding more stuff to my deck for the next shuffle. The odds of drawing the shepherd are not that high. I think I still have a second maroon. Someone trashed a maroon. Apparently I've trashed my maroon. No, I just trashed the one maroon. Maybe the bot trashed its maroon. I think there's a second maroon down there, but I wouldn't be super happy to draw into that. So card action is only helpful if I find the shepherd, which is a 1 in 9 shot. So I think I just prefer silver horse, in which case neither action nor buy really helps me. Is plus card better than not? Probably so. I would really like to get around to the apprentice. It's, I think, the best card in my deck at this point. So plus 1 card just gets me closer to that. Gets me a free extra boon as well. And I could lose here if the bot has a good draw, but we got to take that risk. Don't love that it's starting with a scrying pool. Oh, the Will-O-Wisp, I forgot that card existed. I guess that's some argument for taking card action, is if I do the Will-O-Wisp off the top, I could at least cantrip it. Probably not a game changer. Uh-oh. That's not good. That's not good at all. If it has like a province in hand, for example, you just trash the Yeah, I think I lose the game now. Well played, bot. Okay, I've gone ahead and restarted my computer in hopes of speeding things up just a tad on the bot's turns. And time for take 2. I would not mind just running it back and doing the same thing again. That was pretty close, and that was with egregiously bad early game draws. So I think my strategy was fine. But in the interest of science, let's do the other thing I was considering. So let's take a silver and a shepherd. And then I probably want some number of ironworks and apprentices, and then idols in some order. Let's see if this does any better. Well, my poor shepherd is hiding, but I believe that's one more victory card down there. So at the very least it's portending a good starting hand. Second idol. I think I take a shepherd now and then ferry the apprentice pile so that ironworks can gain it. Or maybe I should just buy a maroon. I still do want to trash the coppers in this deck. You don't want to trash the coppers immediately out of the gates, otherwise you're going to be hitting really low numbers. But now I've got enough in this deck that copper trashing looks good, and maroon might just be better at it than apprentice. Yeah, I think I'm going to take a maroon actually. Yeah, like this hand, I'm happier to have a maroon. Will not complain about getting plus buy there. Fairy apprentice by idol. Do I take a free estate here? I only have 2 and couldn't otherwise buy anything. I guess 3 options. 1 is just gain apprentice by nothing. 2 is gain apprentice by estate, which isn't unreasonable in a deck with shepherd in it. Option 3 would be gain a silver by apprentice, because the silver will give me 1 extra coin. Don't think I care about the silver enough. I think I'm going to say yes to an extra estate. It's 2 points here. And I really do want a second shepherd. Hands like this I think are a good reason why usually you want a second shepherd even pretty early. I haven't gotten one yet, but you have hands where you have 1 shepherd and you discard a bunch of green cards into a shuffle. Oh, I do have 2 shepherds. Never mind. Okay, problem solved. This is fine. You often end up with shuffles full of green cards because of how shepherd works, and so you usually want a second shepherd to help fix that problem. But apparently I was thinking about that and just didn't realize I was thinking about that. Okay, well, I have half a mind to just frog this another time. There's still 3 estates down there. 4 estates down there. Yeah, I think I'm much more likely to get a good hand next turn for shepherd rather than pitching 1 pasture. There's the estates. Thanks, Winds Hex. This would have been shepherd and 3 estates. Oh. Okay. Another shepherd. Gain an estate. Maybe hope to draw into an idol or something. I can buy an apprentice. Could just be 2 apprentices. Maybe a second ironworks and an apprentice. The ironworks are also meant to be apprentice targets. Bot trashes an idol. Wow, the bot is remarkably thin. This is not many cards in deck. I was supposed to be cursing it, but apparently that has not happened. Yeah, I don't think there are any curses in the bot's deck right now. Pretty sure they're both in mine. Oh boy. Don't love seeing all the victory cards right here with none of the shepherds. Ay ay ay. Annoyingly, this game, the bot is doing what I did last game. It has one maroon, one scrap, idols, and apprentices. Which did look like the right deck to me, but the shuffle said no last time. Now we're calling an audible, and the bot is trying to beat me with my original deck. That is a slightly awkward card to have on top. If it were a treasure, I would, in a heartbeat, just gain an estate here to get to 8. Take another apprentice. And I guess duchy time already. This hand could be better. We're definitely apprenticing an idol. I would apprentice the apprentice, except I've cost reduced it, so wouldn't actually draw that many off of that here. How many curses have I given out? I'm pretty sure the answer is very low. I have 11 points worth of victory cards in my deck, if I'm not mistaken. 4 estates with a pasture and a duchy. Which means I have 4 curses in my deck. There's 1 curse in the trash, which means there is a single curse in the bot's deck. 2 provinces and a curse gets you to 11. Okay, goodbye, idol. I think let's gain an apprentice first before I trigger this shuffle. So now there's an apprentice down there. Didn't love drawing you at this exact point in time, Shepherd. I think I'm just going to do that and do this. I could have considered apprenticing the Shepherd as well, which might have been reasonable. But I really wanted to trash this curse. The bot is still taking its jolly time on its turn. I think I'm just doomed to suffer through this for the next week or two until my actual laptop gets back from repairs. I'm going to lose this game, almost certainly at this point. Well, these draws could also be better. Well, now I've got a maroon and a pasture in hand, but this deck does not want to trash the pastures because I've got a bunch of estates. The maroon is supposed to kill the coppers. I still have, what, like 5 coppers left in the deck? Not a small number. I'm not even sure if this is worth frogging. Hardbot, please. You don't need to think before each treasure you play. I have not bought a province yet this game. Yeah. That was painful. I suppose one way to look at it is it was validating. My original deck appears to be a good deck. We tried the backup plan for science, and it lost to plan A. So let's go back to this and hope to have better draws this time. This is satisfactory. Let's go card action or action silver, action horse. I think just card action. I've seen both my trashes, so I want to get back around to them. And drawing 3 total cards there means I trigger an early shuffle. Unfortunately, I didn't find any off the top, but I've shuffled both of my... Where's the scrap? Been here before. Hello, scrap. Lost Fairy Apprentice. Say action, gain horse. Here I don't want to draw with the scrap, because otherwise these would both miss the shuffle. I suppose I could have also considered action coin to buy an apprentice. That might have been better than a horse for my deck. I should have thought about what the bottom 2 cards are. At some point in this game, I'm going to maroon that pasture. Hopefully the bottom half of this shuffle is going to have the maroon and the pasture in it. Okay, now I'm 100% guaranteed that the bottom 2 cards are maroon and pasture. I'm going to discard both of these because I really want to line up my scrap with an estate if possible. Did I just buy province here? I think it's still a little bit early. There's a lot of curses to be given out. Perfect. So the maroon and pasture are in the hand. The scrap is found in estate. This is going better, all things considered. Still haven't picked up an apprentice, have I? Not the most important card, but I do like the idea of taking apprentice right around the time I want to start greening, because that's also when you start to be a bit more okay with just cannibalizing the deck a bit. Action gain silver, or maybe action buy. I'm about to draw a ton of cards. Here we go. Sure, I'll take you. I'll be a little bit sad if we get Flame's Gift, but nope, this actually worked out just fine. Let's take an apprentice and the last 2 idols, and probably province time from here on out. Oh, poor bot had to scrap its pasture. That's sad. The most painful part of this game is watching Hardbot play his treasures one at a time. I've not quite gotten to 8. Probably a second apprentice. And don't need a shepherd yet. Remodel any good? Idols are not great remodel targets. Maybe a 3rd apprentice? An ironworks to gain apprentices? Move the fairy off of apprentice so my apprentices can trash apprentices? I don't know. I think I'm just going to take another one of these. I'm probably killing the silver here, or maybe the idol actually. I'd like to find the maroon and trash a copper. Apprentice is not good at trashing copper. I've not seen my maroon yet, so yeah, I think I just want to trash the idol to make sure I find the maroon. Only one curse left to give out anyway. Plus buy boon, please. Nope. We just hit 1,000,000. And I think killing the scrap looks pretty good here. That's not totally a given. Scrap is my only reliable source of plus buy. But like the only time I need the plus buy is if I had like just apprenticed a bunch of expensive stuff and like hit 16 there, for example. In an otherwise mediocre hand, scrap is often doing worse than nothing. Unclear. I think I'm just going to trash the scrap. This looks like a fine hand. Take a province. Bot's got a remodel. I do have a gold on the deck, which would be the best remodel target. I don't know if I should bank on lining up the gold in the remodel. Well, that was kind of helpful, I think. I think I'd rather trash the idol for 5 than the gold for 6. The boons aren't bad, but idol only gives the boon half the time, and the curse now does nothing. Hardbot, please. Play your treasures. I know you're going to play all the idols. Okay, there is some argument for just marooning the Will-O-Wisp for a decent bit of draw. The Wisps are never going to hit anything of value here. I've already got the coppers out of my deck. This is one of those hands that does make me slightly regret trashing the scrap, because I could draw into that and hit double province here. I think I'm just going to draw 4 cards and leave the apprentices in hand. Hope to get, there we go, the plus buy boon. Okay, this should be a win from here. I know that's not your only treasure. You're not fooling anybody. Alright, yeah, the bot falls on its sword. This one would probably have been a lot less painful on a faster computer. Watching Hardbot plod through its turns was a little bit irksome. Anyways, the kingdom. So I do think the original deck was correct. Just maroon, scrap, some apprentices, or at the very least it seemed reasonable. I think those were just really poor draws the first time. I'm not convinced that the foray into scrying pools that the bot took was worth it. I do think there was some argument for the remodel was doing good work, I think. And so maybe I should have found a place to add a remodel at some point. And maybe some more apprentices. I don't think I took apprentices earlier as often in the first game. But broadly speaking, I think Maroon Scrap into Idols seemed good, and I think it was just burdened by some really bad draws early on. I tried the Scrap Ironworks thing as well. That one didn't feel like it worked. So the Shepherd Ironworks thing with the apprentices, that one felt worse to me, I think. Wasn't as obvious that one was being hindered by poor draws. I think that just went up against the original deck and lost. So I think I like plan number 1 and just try to draw better than I did.